Hello and welcome to the Floppy Painter tutorial series. This is going to be the main tutorial series for Floppy Painter 1.0. Here we go. So the first thing you're going to see when you open Floppy Painter is this home page. This home page has general news on the side. It has these buttons to start a project or open a project, and an important one to the right here that says report bug. If you click that, you're going to see this little dialog pop up where you can send me a message. And it's really important to me if you send me a message, if you found any bugs, or have just any general feedback for the program. All right, let's continue to a new paint scene. Click new paint scene right here, and it'll open this dialog here of canvas size. You set a size you want and link them. And you can also open a model with this new project. We'll just leave it as is. So on new paint scene creation, you're gonna be greeted with this screen right here. And this middle portion is your 2B canvas. You can paint whatever you want on here. And then on the bottom, we have brush textures. This is where you can select a number of textures that you want to use. These textures are alpha mask textures right here. Floppy Painter works best with alpha mask textures, basically black on white. And if you want to set a file with your own brushes, you can click this button right here, set file. And here I'll open this dialog and you can select a folder. On the left here, we have brush color. This is just your general color wheel and color application. Then right up here, we have palettes. There's a number of palettes that I provide with the program from Low Spec, really great website for looking for palettes. And you can see who they created them right here. Again, also, if you have your own palettes in your own folder, you can just hit open folder and select that folder and it'll open those palettes too. I'll select a color here and just paint with this. And you can see it also updated for the color wheel. I select another color here, do this, and there it is. Right, I'm gonna undo all of this with the delete key. There you go. Now delete the whole canvas. On the right here, we have our layers panel. This is just gonna be your general layer stuff. With opacity, you can lock it and everything. This top bar here is the toolbar. The toolbar can be moved around. Let me go to a brush that is a bit more spray. There you go. So this will cause the toolbar to be movable. There you go. And we'll go more into the toolbar later in the painting section, but this is just a general video for general information. You can see right here on the very top left, there is 3 different scenes we can do. These are different workspaces. I'm going to click Paint 3D. This is a 2D canvas and a 3D canvas for your painting needs. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory and about the same. I'm going to hit 3D painting. It's going to be just the 3D painting workspace, just for some more fine tuning on the 3D side. One last thing that's a part of all of these workspaces I like to mention is the timeline right here. Click the timeline. Here it is. And this is just for general frame-by-frame animation. So let me just paint some for you. And there we are. Paint you a little bunny here. There you go. His ears are going up and down. You also lower the frame rate right here. Or up it if you want. There's this unscaling right here we can click. You can see the unscaling happening. Orange being what happened before and blue is what will happen. There's also this only active right here. That will just mean that only this layer will show the onion skin. And we have a before and after, which is the same as the blue and the orange. You can just increase these frames if you want to see more or less. And that covers the basic tabs of the program. As you can see right here on the very top, we have this home and new paint scene. This home and new paint scene is just the project tabs. You can also open new projects if you have any saves. So if I click home, here's the home. If I click new paint scene, here's the paint scene. When we save this, I'm going to go to the very top here, hit file on this menu selection. I'm going to save or save as. I'll hit save as. Then we'll just say test save. It's going to save as a .flop file. Hit save. Then if I hit open, there's my top flop file. I can open it. And here's our bunny. Here's our animation. Should be able to play it. There it is. And everything seemed to work good. I'm going to close that. There is new file, save, save as. So saving is, you would think, new file is a new paint scene. Open for open and save. Recent files, so test flop right here, this file right here. Then we can import a model, close project, export image, export animation, import image, and exit program. Where do we open a model? All right, I have a few models right here I've saved up. I'm gonna do the bunny model painter. So as I do that, you're gonna see that there are now these UV elements on the screen. The red is the topology of the model, and the yellow will be the UV islands. So if I go 3D in Paint, you can see that more illustrated on this 3D model. You can even see our little guy here is being placed on. Actually, why don't we move our little guy here and put him on his back? There we go. So obviously you can see our guy is upside down. That is simply because the UV grid is flipped here. And that all depends on how you make your UV maps and how your models are oriented. If for whatever reason you do not want the red or the yellow, you can simply go to Edit and toggle UV Preview. And there we go. Now we have our little bunny model here. Real quick, I like to illustrate this light. Here you can click and drag and move the light around in case you want to light some areas up or darken some areas up for whatever reason. Also, if you're looking to not do any light, you can also go to Edit, go to Unlit Shaded, and there we go. There's no light, it is completely unlit, meaning no shadows. Also, if you want to, you can toggle the world grid. There you go. Now there's no world grid, it is just the model. I'm going to turn it back on. And there's also this toggle right here I have called UV bound. So I'm going to pop up the UV preview again, and if I start drawing, you will see that I am bound to the UV grid. By default, you will be bound to the UV grid when painting on top of a model, because, well, we can't paint outside of what we can see on the model. But on here, you can also do it too. And remember, you can always go to Edit, toggle UV bound, and you're not bounded to the UV. Right, I'm going to now toggle the UV preview. I'm going to now draw on my little bunny guy here. So as you can see, I can move around. I'm moving around right now with middle mouse button. I am on mouse and keyboard, but you can also hold space, and that's going to put you in the hand tool. And you can also move around. You also hold shift and space. So space, then shift to do a zoom in, zoom out. Let's give our guy a little smile here. There you go. How about a little nose? That's better. And let's say I want to give this guy a different look. So why don't I go over here? A new brush. And just like paint his stomach a little bit with this textured brush. There we go. Obviously, this is all going to apply the exact same way in the 3D painting section, just a bit better for looking at the actual 3D model, a bit bigger. And those are the general ideas of 3D. Almost everything you can do in the 2D canvas, you can do in the 3D canvas. Obviously with some rotation limitations, because we still do have to respect the UV grid. Now I'm going to go through the top menu bar one by one to explain what they do and how they work. We already covered the files, so we're not going to do that, but we're going to cover the edit file now. We have undo, redo history, shows your history. Then we have standard stuff like cut, copy, copy merged, paste, paste new layer, and delete. We also have fill the canvas with your current color. We have flip horizontal, flip vertical. That works with selection. We'll flip the horizontally or vertically, depending on what you've selected. We have transform, which is going to select anything that is painted on. Then we have keyboard shortcuts. It's going to be all your keyboard shortcuts. You can set them as you want. Then we have pen curve window. This is going to be your pressure sensitivity curve for drawing on a tablet. We also have image. So image mostly holds image effects. And here's some quick image effects right here. There's also this set canvas size, which will just set the canvas to a new size. But we'll quickly click image effect menu. There we go. So if I click on box blur, you can see that I can do a box blur. Or how about I click on pixelate and you can see it can do a pixelate. These are just shaders that are applying to the canvas, and then you can hit apply when you're happy with what you got. So we'll hit that, we'll hit apply, and you can see everything has been pixelized. Next we have the layer tab. So layer tab, we have visible layer right here, and lock layer. I'm going to toggle visible layer, can't see nothing. And then I'm going to toggle lock layer, and I cannot paint on anything. These are these buttons right here to the side. Then if I hit new layer, see, we have a new layer, paint some stuff on it, and toggle that off. We can't see it. Now we can't paint on it. Then we'll go back to layer. We'll also hit duplicate right here. Duplicate will just take a copy of our current layer. We'll remove that. And I'm going to remove this one too. All right, I'm going to go up here to layer. And we have merge down. So let me make a new layer and paint something here. You see these layers are separated. They are not a part of the same layer. But if I hit go to layer, I hit merge down, they're going to be combined, and now they are both a part of the scene. Let me undo that. There we go. Now they are separated again. Next, we have flatten. So if I hit flatten here, all the layers will be flattened into one layer. The last one is flat invisible. So if I make this layer invisible and I hit flatten visible, all the layers will be flattened that are visible, but the ones that are not will not be flattened. So you can see these are separated because this layer was invisible. Next we have selection. So if I hit selection, we can select all, which will select the whole canvas. Move that over there. And then we have deselect. So let me make a little selection here. There you go. And if I hit deselect, it will deselect. Then we have inverse selection. So let me give you an example of that. Inverse selection, and it selected everything but what I selected just now. And last on the selection tab, but selection, we have color range select. So I'll press that. Then I will make it this color. There we go. Hit apply, and you can see all these colors were selected, except for this one because it is on a different layer. Last, we have this view tab. First thing on the view tab will be layout. Layouts basically is how the project is situated. Move things around, make different tabs different sizes, and just come over here and save layer. You can save a layer and it'll load up that layer every time you open the project. Next on view, we have home. So that'll just put you back to the home page and open a new home page. And last on view, we have preview window. This gives you a little window here for a preview. The very, very last tab that we have is help. Help will direct you to my website, the video tutorial series that you're watching right now, and will reset the canvas state. Just in case something were to go awry and the canvas were to be put into a very weird state where you're not able to paint, I add a little thing on the help, which is reset canvas state, just for those rare instances that something might break. And that'll cover the general information for the project. That is generally everything that the project has to offer and all of the tabs and how they relate. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Like you can see right here, this stabilization amount. If I crank that all the way up and crank the samples all the way up, you can see that things will be stabilized. If you're familiar with drawing applications, you should be familiar with a lot of these things. And that is the general information of all of the different tabs and different workspaces of Floppy Painter and how they relate. In the next video, we'll be going over some more 2D operations, painting, and that kind of such. Thank you for watching this first video on the general program and all of its information. And I also want to remind everyone that if you go to home, or here, home, just in case you lose it, to please report a bug and a review if you have any feedback or if you caught something that I missed. Thank you and happy painting.